Voila! In view, a humble vaudevillian veteran cast vicariously as both victim and villain by the vicissitudes of fate. The visage, no mere veneer of vanity, is a vestige of the vox populi now vacant vanished. However, this valorous visitation of a bygone vexation stands vivified and has vowed to vanquish these venal and virulent vermin, vanguarding vice and vow-saving the violently vicious and voracious violation of volition. The only verdict is vengeance, a vendetta held as a votive, not in vain, for the value and veracity of such shall one day vindicate the vigilant and the virtuous. Verily, this vicious wise of verbiage veers most verbose, so let me simply add that it's my very good honor to meet you, and you may call me V. Funny, when I did my movie phrases, I did the same thing. Haha, funny how that works. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? If you didn't click off the video, what's going on, everybody? This is the Whatever We Want podcast. I am one of your hosts of the show. I go by the name of Jazz or Super Jazz, SJ, JT, whatever you want, what have you, and the like. And of course, I'm always joined by the other host of the show.
Yes, you guys know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent Big Ugly himself, Omari Ellis, Feo Grande on YouTube. Sometimes referred to as Pete on this show. It's really important to Jazz that I say that. And yeah, I'm here as well.
Word. And like I said, everybody, this is the Whatever We Want podcast, where we do just that. We talk about whatever we want. We do not lead this conversation. This conversation leads us. And we let these chips fall where they April. We let these chips fall where they June. We let these chips fall where they might. Let these chips fall where they may.
Every Wednesday, yes. Yes. And this Wednesday, Jazz, it's that time again. Again. You know what time it is, yeah? You're smiling. I see it.
No, I'm saying...
You want me to smile?
Because you always say, like, I am happy or I am sad.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, are you happy?
I'm happy as I said it's
that's
that
like your
time
catchphrase
again.
for sports,
I said it's
goddammit.
that time again, like we did last year. As I said, it's that time again. What time is that? Yes, it is sports. Right now, I am.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm sad.
I am happy that it's football season, but I've started a lot of episodes with I'm happy and or sad. And to be fair,
that's your sports
though I'm excited this week, I don't know how happy I am. I'm too skeptical because I don't know yet. But I will say, college football already started, and while I don't usually pay attention to college football because unlike the NFL where there's only 32 teams, and even then I don't know a lot about stuff, college football is like hundreds. And now granted, the same four teams win every fucking time. It's always the same four teams in the finals, even if there are teams with better records. They're just like, and weak division, and they don't let them play. So whatever. However, this past weekend there were a lot of things making waves. Now, if I say prime time in relation to football, do you know what player I'm referring to?
Is it prime time?
Yeah.
That is Deion Sanders, right?
It is indeed. Did you know he's a coach in college football?
Yeah, there was a big controversy without us getting super into it because we like to keep it lighthearted. There was a whole controversy of him like leaving one college and going to another one.
And taking like a lot of the students with him.
Well, and some of the issues had to do with race or something from what I heard. Yeah.
He went from a black school to a school that's not only for blacks.
I was skating around it, but yes.
I've even had whatever. The bottom line is they won this past weekend. Anyway, moving on, changing topics.
We can stay on the topic. I was just skating around that part of it, but we can stay on that. Yeah. No, I heard about because I heard that the whole thing was that he kind of shut a lot of the haters up because of the fact that they like won when people like were like, you know, See how good you are with your coaching skills and shit, as opposed to your playing skills. That's what this is all coming from somebody who is casual as shit, but I heard that.
Okay, so I'm not talking about the stuff from earlier this year. I was just going to talk about what happened this past weekend.
Oh, my bad. I'm putting do your thing, bro.
But yeah, because there was a thing. People say what they want to say. Bottom line is, he had a game this past weekend with this team that he's on now, where even after he moved from another school and brought like 80% of the team with him, as well as a lot of his coaches and stuff like that, and the fact that he's actually making a lot of money, but he had a lot of money from his NFL career. That doesn't mean he should work for free for the rest of his life either. Or you know what I mean, just from the people that want to be like, oh, if you have money you should never make another dime. What? No. Just keep trying to make money. He got sons and shit. Speaking of which, one of said sons is the quarterback for his team, and I think another one of his sons also plays for the team. That team though, the Colorado, I want to say Buffaloes, but Colorado last year, from what I heard, they were stinky doo doo before getting Coach Prime, as he's referred to now. Yeah, they were stinky doo doo last year. Like, I'm talking 1, maybe 2 wins. Even with the additions that he made, the team was projected to get 5 wins this season. Well, they only need 4 more, because this past weekend they went against a team that finished 2nd place. Like, I mean, they were in the national championship game and lost. TCU. And do you know what happened? Well, I already said it. They won 45-42.
Was it anything different besides they won? Like, yeah.
Well, okay, so you don't know a lot about NFL football, but you know the Lions usually suck, right? So imagine...
Like damn near consistently every season. Right?
Yeah, imagine the Lions or the Browns beating a team like, dare I say it, the New England Patriots or the Chiefs. Exactly. That would be shocking. So that's what happened. Maybe not the modern day Patriots, but give them another season, and unfortunately we'll be back to it. Everything else sucks about life. Why not that consistent?
How many seasons do this college football play?
How many seasons?
Not seasons. How many games?
I want to say somewhere around 11 or 13.
Okay, so they actually play it's more teams because it's the schools, but it's less games in the season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they just added like a few years ago they just increased the NFL from 16 to 17, didn't they?
Yep. Last season, I think last season was the first 17-week season in the NFL.
That's fucking weird as shit to me.
Yeah, it's gonna stay weird. Like, no team can finish 500 anymore unless they get a tie.
Well, it was an even number of games.
This is what I'm saying.
First off,
yeah,
and then it just made sense because it was like 32 teams, cut it in half, 16 games. Because if you take 2 teams and match them up, that 32 2 divides 16. So it's just you got that one outlier, which is odd. But I mean, shit, back in the day they used to play fucking 13, and so you know, so shit changes.
Yep.
Shit changes.
So
who knows down the line somewhere fucking 50 years from now they may be playing 20-25 games.
Yeah, but part of what made the thing ridiculous, aside from the fact that it was a shocking upset of a team that was projected to maybe highballing it here, 5 wins, go against the number 2 team in the country from last year, at least. Maybe not still in the rankings, because college football rankings is weird.
That's what I hear you.
Yeah, but the bottom line is they weren't supposed to win that game. Ironically, Pat McAfee was the only one on the Sunday game day before it started, when they're like trying to, or not Sunday, but college game day, they're like predicting games. He was the only one that picked Buffalo's team on the sheer premise that he's like, I believe in Coach Prime. They're probably going to go out here and lose, but I'm voting on them to win today in an upset. I'm perfectly fine if they do lose. That said, I'm going with this team.
just because it's fun to go with them.
Yeah, and if you know anything about Deion Sanders, he is one of those people made for the screen. Like he's made to be in front of people and be entertaining. But he had a game plan that people weren't too fond of. One, he had a son at quarterback. They're like, they're forgetting that this is the son of fucking Deion Primetime Sanders. But they're like, man, I don't know if his son can handle being in a real football division. Okay, whatever. Also, you had this guy, Travis Hunter, who part of the game plan for Saturday, hopefully not for the whole season for Hunter's sake, but they had a game plan. Travis Hunter plays every snap. Offense and defense. Every play, this guy's out here. He's a wide receiver on offense and a cornerback on defense.
That's gonna tire you the fuck out.
You would assume. You would assume. And,
even if you're amazing, like you gonna get tired.
And I think someone was telling me he got like an interception early in the game, and somebody else also got another interception or whatever. But around halftime, they're like asking him, "Hey, coach, Travis Hunter, we know you said he should play every down. He already's had like 90 snaps at the halftime. Are you sure you're gonna do that?" "Don't worry, he is him. He'll be ready for halftime." He's like, "We technically missed him on a couple of deep balls. If he would have caught those, the Heisman would be waiting for him at home."
So dude really is that good.
He was that good, and at least for Saturday, he was that endurance, and he had like I think a game-saving breakup at the end of the game too, on defense.
So this motherfucker really is like that fucking good. Like,
I just hope he can last the whole. I just hope that's not the game plan for him, so he can last the whole season. Because football is a ruling sport, and if everyone knows your ass is out here trying to defy the laws of football,
they're gonna start to target you.
Oh yeah. So that's why I'm scared for him. That said, dude's apparently really fucking good.
Especially if you become like the one that they're going to like give the ball to. So not only are they going to target you because it's going to be a few things. It's going to be one, they're giving the ball to you, so we're going to target you. There's going to be two, some people are going to be up in that motherfucker like, oh, you think you could just come out here and show out on me, motherfucker? Because you know it's egos on the field too. You gonna show out on me and play every game like I'm some little bitch? Okay. Exactly. Oh, that's gonna be a thing too. Yeah. Fuck, man.
Also, Deion's son threw for 500 yards.
That's Well, that's like a lot of people like when O'Shea Jackson Jr. made his on-screen debut in Sherlock Compton playing Cube, and everybody was like, "Oh, Ice Cube's son," and then everybody in that movie, including him, fucking did an amazing job. Like, you know, just because don't get me wrong. Nepotism is a real thing because, shout out to Master P, but, you know, Lil Romeo can't act worth a foot and can't rap worth a So, but, you know.
But what about Silk the Shocker?
I was just about to say him next. I was about to bring him up next.
The Shocker.
I would have said Ashley Simpson can sing somewhat, but we know how that went. So,
Old Man River.
Who's to say that Jessica Simpson was really singing all that good too? She just never got caught.
Mm-hmm. But could she really fake her singing? I mean, she wasn't sure if Chicken of the Sea was chicken or tuna.
You see my face before you even said it because I knew where you were fucking going.
Yeah. For the kids out there, it's an old bit that she did with her husband on a reality show where she tried to pretend she was too stupid to realize that Chicken of the Sea was tuna.
Well, technically, if it's a reality show, it was supposed to be real.
That's supposed to be, but it wasn't.
She said she tried to pretend, and I'm like,
yeah, I know, but it's supposed to be, but clearly it wasn't because no one's that stupid.
Let's fucking hope not. I don't believe she was
and she was and it's not like she was a teenager or hell. Actually, I'll give it to some kids today that they may not know it. Some of these Zoomers may not know it because they probably just ain't that experienced with like going out and buying tuna and shit. She was like fucking in her 30s. She knew what fucking chicken of the sea was.
She was in her 30s? Shit.
I don't fucking know, man.
Either way, there's no excuse.
Bottom line is there's no excuse. It might have been 20s. Either way, because of how long ago it was when people still had to like do stuff and they probably still had commercials for it, she should have known what chicken of the sea.
And she eat it. Is this chicken I ever? And it's funny, like that is so iconic. Cause I was watching some shit on YouTube and somebody made a joke about that shit. Like they brought up the whole like I don't even remember the context, but they brought up the whole chicken or fish thing, and it's just like if you are around our age and you were watching, some of that shit or whatever, like in the pop culture and shit, you know that you're gonna get it. Or you may have heard something like that. And I remember being young, and even at that age, I was like, what the fuck? Like, so yeah. But no, nepotism is a thing, but at the same time, nepotism goes like as far as, you get your foot in the door, but there's nothing that says that just because you benefit from nepotism that you're not talented. Although most of the time, people who benefit from nepotism didn't deserve it because a lot. But doesn't
I'm gonna go ahead and be controversial and say people from nepotism, while they may not have quote unquote earned it themselves, they deserve it, and you know why? Because the parents earned it for that reason.
I figured that's what you were gonna say, and I mean I don't disagree with it. It's one of those things where it's like when I look at different generations, and not to make it a whole this generation versus this generation, but when I look at some generations and they're like this generation before us, and I'm not even talking about what people say about Zoomers or millennials or whatever, but every generation that came before. Even if you go back to the generation was the greatest generation before the baby boomers, or every generation that comes before the generation that is of present day, they always say, this generation doesn't know how hard it is, how hard we had it. And it's like, you are right. And they should listen. And I do agree. But wasn't the purpose of how hard you work to make it so they wouldn't necessarily have to fight so hard? So to an extent, as much as I do agree that maybe we shouldn't be on social media too much, maybe we shouldn't be looking at our phones too much, maybe we should go out more, maybe we should do this. Wasn't the kind of the purpose of the strides that people made with technology and whatever to make it so this generation could do some of that? And if, granted me being 32, but if we weren't 32 and 25, and if we weren't, fucking 50, and if we weren't 75, but if we all were born into a world where everybody has a fucking camera in their pocket and everybody can take their card and tap to pay, and everybody can call the phone and fucking literally have any food delivered to their door without even thinking about it, or get a car easy, or play a fucking video game with somebody all the way in fucking Saskatoon. If we were all born into this fucking world, wouldn't we all kind of just inherently live this life and not understand? Yo, maybe I should know how to orient a map as well as use GPS. You give like, you kind of like, so as much as I do agree that we should know some of the older stuff, I don't fault a generation for.
Yeah, you don't fault a generation for saying that they've got it easy today, but you fought so hard so they could have it easy today.
I don't fault this generation for clinging so hard to technology. I mean, I do fault them maybe to an extent for not listening to the older generations and shit, if that's the case, because not all of them are doing that. There's a lot of people who say that they are not at that, but nothing is mutually exclusive and, 100% true. But if that's the case, but I don't fault them for clinging hard to technology when you're born into a world that is run by fucking technology. Like what? Oh, imagine if okay, we were the last generation to know the world before technology took over and the internet came into it, and it happened as we were coming into our own. Okay, cool. Imagine being born into a world right now, like I say, where fucking TikTok is running rampant. Like, and like all this shit is going on. Like, you're not, like I said, you're not going to necessarily, I'm not gonna say 100%, but you're not gonna necessarily understand the importance of orienting a map as when you have a GPS in your pocket. You're just not gonna do that. You're not going to necessarily understand reading an analog clock when every fucking clock has the numbers right there for you. I do think it's dumb they took cursive out, but you're not gonna understand, like, yo, maybe do I need cursive? They took cursive out of schools, which I think is stupid. But you're not gonna understand, like, maybe I need cursive when they don't even teach it to y'all no more and nothing is written with that shit. Everything is in print because everything is typed. Like, so I agree with you when you say the whole thing with the nepotism and stuff. Like, I just in general, as much as we can fault people for like not understanding how hard it is, which is facts, but I can't fully get mad because you're not gonna you didn't even see how hard it could be
Mm-hmm.
to not care about how hard it is.
Oh, I would definitely nepotize my damn self, so I can't say nothing.
I'm just boy, I just went down a whole little rant about generations, but I don't know. That's something I think about sometimes. It's like
Yeah, like the kids have it easy today, but they're supposed to.
that is the nutshell of what I said. Exactly. Yes. And it's one of those things where a lot of people and every generation, like I said, every previous generation is gonna get on the present day generation. It just fucking happens. And it's one of them things where it's like, oh, I'm I'm not fully faulting them for that shit, man.
You can't
Because
fault, like, I don't have to fault them for it to say that they don't understand. Or if I were to say that kids today don't understand struggle, I don't have to necessarily fault them for that. It's just stating fact.
yeah, now that's true. That's true. The problem comes in when, and we see this all the time because of social media. So we really see it because people were already saying it, but now you really see it with social media. Is that you see all the time where there's this constant push and pull between generations of you don't understand struggle and therefore you are, blah blah blah, this blank blank blank. And that's where the whole okay boomer shit came from, which was a counteract to that, which I didn't like that, but I don't know. I could go on this for a minute because it's like I said, it's something I think that all those generations could learn from each other if we would stop pointing the finger as to who's at fault and sit back as the younger generation sit back and learn from my elders because they've been here before, and then as the older generation, they can learn from the younger generations, about how the world is today with stuff that you may not understand that is current. But yeah, whatever. That's just me. That's just a boy. I don't know.
True.
I'm very much one of them people in a lot of different facets of life, whether it be generational type shit or not. Just a lot of things I wish that people in different groups would communities, whatever, would stop finding ways to point the finger at each other. A lot of it is justified, but I just wish in some cases we wouldn't find a way to always be at each other's throats. So
Yeah.
yeah. But hey, like I say, shit is not gonna change because, shout out to MJ. Tell them that is human nature. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
And people, that's true. Now, you're right. People should not be divisive over such frivolous thing. That said, sports. So, sports is coming up this weekend, and the Panthers are going up against one of the most divisive topics out there, sports. It could also be unifying. You just got to talk to the right people. But there comes the divisiveness. Anyway,
They say when you go into a bar, don't talk about religion, politics, sports, and some people also say hip hop because there's going to be like no end to the argument.
Unless you're looking for something to spark up an argument or a conversation, in which case, talk about one of those things. Just be ready to adapt to the conversation.
Yeah.
Like, so what do you think about religion? I hate it. You know what? Me too.
No, a lot of times,
you know what? Oh, I hate it. Well, I like it. Why do you hate it? That's the best. That's the best way to react. Is to.
I wish the conversation went that way.
Why do you like it like that? The worst way to be, well, fuck you, could die, and
it's usually how I go.
A mediocre way to like try and say things is just ask them the question, they give the opinion, and then you just go, you know what? I agree with your opinion. Now, why do you feel this way? I'll tell you why I feel it. But why do you feel this way? All right, let me take bits and pieces of that and make up something. I'm never going to talk to you again.
See, but that's what I like it when I can have a conversation with somebody who has a differing opinion than me about some shit. And
oh, yeah.
I don't agree with what they say, but we both sit up and we have a civilized disagreement where I display my points. Not even always religion, but just whatever. I display my points. They display their points. We listen. And then I counter rebuttal and they counter rebuttal. And everything is perfectly copacetic.
And then Lucky shows up and says, here, hold on to me, Lucky Charms. I have to run. And then the kids come in and chase him away. And then Tony the Tiger takes a bite. Let me try that shit. They're pretty good.
Because you're saying that there's no way life. That's a joke. Ain't no way in fuck that's really gonna happen. I mean, facts though. But that's the joke, right? Ain't no way.
That's the joke. Like this
tactical shit. Ain't no way in fuck.
And then everybody could be happy, sunshine, and rainbows. When in reality, kids, the world isn't sunshine and rainbows. It's urine and feces. You just gotta live.
You said that before.
You just gotta live in spite of that. Find things you actually like. Me, I like talking to my friends. I like entertainment. I like playing fighting games. So I focus on the good things. I focus on my family. Focus on a lot of other stuff. Do I want to focus on the people killing and people dying, the children hurting, and you see them crying? No, because I don't preach enough to practice it. And I'm not turning no other cheek. You hit me, I'm swinging at you. I don't need my father to help me. The one time I thought he did and saved my life, he told me recently that didn't happen. He said it was his friend. That's crazy, right? Now, I'm crazy too. So how serious am I when I say this shit right now? That's the question. Because I say stupid shit. I say stupid shit all the time. Like, fuck you guys saw Rasputin. Do you know who Rasputin is? I don't know much about him either. I just know that allegedly he couldn't die or some shit until he did.
That's the dude with the like real long pointy beard or some shit.
Some shit like that, yeah. Rasputin.
And it was like he was supposed to be back in like ancient times, and he was like a dictator and shit.
Yes.
Because clearly I don't know much about him either. Clearly I don't know much about the man.
Ancient time, but not as ancient as you might think.
I want to say like 1700s.
Yeah, it's at 1800s, I'd say.
He, like I said, he was like dictating shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I don't think he was ever a leader. I think he was an advisor, just a weird advisor to the leading class that then got murdered. I had a co-worker that was very obsessed with Russia.
That's interesting.
Oh yeah, he would ask people. He would make up name tags for people's desk and then write their names in Russian. He is not Russian. No,
I was about to say, is he Russian?
He was just obsessed with it. He started. He got a fucking little button that played the Russian national anthem. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say national anthem? I meant Soviet anthem. He corrected me on that numerous times. It was the Soviet anthem.
That's with Russia.
I don't know.
Not that there's a problem with that. That's just very interesting.
He liked the I do know he liked the ideas of socialism, not communism. Socialism.
So according to Google, like let's see, okay, so Rasputin. So you know how when you type in people's names and like it says like if you were typing Stephen King, it would say like American author. Before you click on the thing for them to go, it tells you like American author. You click on like let's say like Chris Hemsworth and it might say like Australian actor or whatever. Rasputin says Grigory Rasputin, and before I click, it says Russian peasant. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm pretty sure he didn't rule.
Grigory Yefimovich Rasputin was a Russian mystic and holy man.
Yeah.
He is best known for having befriended the imperial family of Nicholas II.
That was then murdered in their house while allegedly they were supposed to take a photo, but that's just how they got him in the room to murder them all.
Shit. Nicholas II, the last emperor of Russia, through whom he gained considerable influence in the final years of the Russian Empire. Says he was born 1869 and he died December 30th. So he was born at the beginning of 1869 and died at the end of 1916, January 21st, 1869.
Okay, it was the 1900s. I'm pretty sure it wasn't as ancient as you think, like 1800s, 1900s, yeah.
December 30th, 1916. So the first month of 1869 and the last month, fucking like 2 days before the end of 1916. Yeah, but that was back when the Soviet Union was the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the whole thing with the Soviet Union was it was like and again, I do not know, so I could be talking very much.
Wasn't the Soviet Union formed as a result of that or some shit?
Again, I don't know, man. But I'm saying the Soviet Union was like a union of like some dictatorship over like Russia, wasn't it?
The Soviet Union, to my knowledge, is a union of a bunch of countries saying that they're together, being like a country, like one entity. Now, was it led by someone who ended up being a dictator? Yes.
That's what I'm basically getting at. It wasn't like, hey, we're some dictators.
Because that's the downside. The downside to revolution is that it almost always ends with the main person leading the charge being like, we did it! We stopped the oppressors! What's now? I'm your new oppressor, motherfucker. What? This is my time. Power to the people, and by the people I mean the me and mines. Unless they step out of lines. So that's usually how it happens.
I didn't want to stop you. I want you to keep going.
I'm not good at the rhyming. You're a rapper.
Me and mines, in case they step out of lines in these crazy times.
But that's an M.
Well, you said mines. Oh, no, my bad. Okay, me and mines, in case they step out of lines. So if you're going to mess around with the lemons, then make sure you take off the rinds.
I'm about to say, if your ass goes to limes.
Right, you said that right. No, make sure you take off the rinds. And see, you thought I couldn't get these words, but you surprised at what I could find.
Am I surprised, Mr. Rapper, producer, actor, writer?
Not. I mean, if you want to say like songwriter, because I write my raps, but I'm not a writer yet.
Well, true rappers do.
True rappers stay free in our one of our lines, and if you're not feeling them the cream of the crop, enough rappers off your lip till I get to the top. So you're looking at a man that's financially stable and niggas getting checks cut from 4 different labels. Feels very dope. Women poke my guts. I walk around the streets like I'm broke as fuck. Shout out to Ludacris, who very well might be on a mainstream level the most rated rapper of all time.
I am the cream of the crop. On balance, all balance.
I don't even know if you heard what the fuck I
said. Better than you. Yeah, it was a rap lyric that I didn't recognize.
But when I started saying what I said at the end of it, though.
Yes and no.
See, you stupid. What the fuck you doing?
You said
I
the
said-
cream of the crop, and I went straight to Randy Savage.
I said shout out to Ludacris. That was a Ludacris.
Oh
line.
yeah, I did hear
I
that.
said
Part.
shout out to Ludacris, who very well might be on a mainstream level one of the most underrated rappers of all time.
I agree.
Yeah, me and Ibn, shout out to Big Bro, we talk about that a lot. Back in the day when I was in middle school, because they were in their prime, Eminem and Ludacris were my two favorite rappers.
Huh.
And yeah, that was back when like Ludacris had one of the best like 4 album runs, and Eminem had the best 3 album run that made him legendary. Not that he ain't still amazing and hasn't been, but Slim Shady LP to Marshall Mathers LP to Eminem show, nah. Like, come on. That's what made. And then what Ludacris had Back for the First Time, Word of Mouth, Red Light District, and Chicken and Beer. I forget which came first. Was it Chicken and Beer, Red Light District? Either way. But it was just like, that was when they were like, ah. And I don't think Luda and M ever did a song together.
You would know better than me. I want to say it happened, but I highly doubt it as well.
I mean, it would be very surprising if they didn't, but I can't think of nothing they did, man.
Yeah, and that's
Which
it.
is crazy.
It's
I was
crazy.
just gonna, well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's crazy.
Well, I was gonna say it's crazy just because I was gonna say like Luda doesn't rap necessarily like as intricate of like the multisyllabics and fastness or whatever, but their cleverness and like silliness would have complemented each other so fucking well.
Yeah,
Because they both really fucking like funny with their wordplay and shit. So yeah, that would have been good as fuck. What music, and I'm not even gonna say rapper, what music would you say kind of was the soundtrack to your middle school?
middle school, probably still rap.
No, but
Rap
like
slash pop.
what artist? I mean, you got to say a whole bunch. Just say like 1, 2, 3.
I shit. I'm trying to think. I know that was around. So I say rap slash pop slash black music, R&B and stuff. Probably more on the pop and R&B side. Is that around the time? I know Dog Song was while I was in middle school.
You say what?
Dong Song was while I was in middle school. What else was big around that time?
Who Let the Dogs Out wasn't too far from there, was it?
I don't think so, but I
Who Let
don't
the Dogs
think.
Out was 2000, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And if you talking about artists, or you talking about just songs?
Artists and songs and shit.
Who Let the Dogs Out? Linkin Park was ruling that time.
High school for me.
Oh, right,
Mid
'cause
to
you're a
late
little-
high school.
You're a little older than me. For me in middle school, Linkin Park was big. Fuck. I mean, I would say Eminem.
Okay, if Eminem was, I didn't hear him. I did like his early shit.
What about Pac or Biggie? Before they like passed?
Didn't they die in like 98?
96 and 7, I think. Or 5 and 6. 5 and 6 or 6 and 7.
Don't think I would. Fuck, I don't remember what years I went to middle school. Ain't that a damn? I'm pretty
I'm
sure
trying to
Pop
not-
was dead. No, Pop was dead before I was in middle school. Only
man's
reason
still
I
coming
know
out.
is because of a moment that it was not in celebration of the fact that it
Where did
happened.
it go?
It was not in celebration of the fact that it happened. That said, I don't know why we were doing it, but I remember being on a swing with some friends, like a bench swing, and as the swing went up and down, we had the W's.
Because everybody was doing West Side at that time. West Side, everybody was doing that shit.
We had the W's, and we would like go up and down. Tupac's dead. Tupac's dead.
What the
Tupac's
fuck?
dead. Now, again, not in celebration of the fact we all liked to.
What's wrong?
me trying to move. Damn it! Me trying to move this hand, but using the mirror to do so, and I kept moving the wrong hand, then stopping, forgetting
on the camera,
then stopping, forgetting which hand I moved, and then still moving the other hand, and now I'm trying to do it wrong, and I'm doing it right. Fuck it. Bottom line is, we were doing Tupac's Dead.
That's fucking yeah. I mean, the shit kids do. Y'all was swinging,
but I know
down.
That was before middle school. So Tupac died before I went to middle school. Yeah, Tupac's dead. Tupac's dead. I think we were just trying to say some random shit. Knowing me, I probably started it. Because I used to have an obsession with talking about death and dying and shit.
Yes, you fucking did.
Any song parody I made was about killing somebody.
Oh my god.
I don't want to murder anybody. Nor did I back then. I just thought it was funny to talk about it. I think that was always a thing with me. I was always one of those dudes that's like, it's funny to talk about stuff you shouldn't talk about. Saying fucked up shit gets laughs out. But then again, I like getting reactions out of people. So I think as a kid, it's like, ha ha. And then once I became known as the guy that talks about death a lot, I felt obliged to keep talking about death. So it was one of those things. I'm like, well, this is what they expect out of me. I'm the guy that talks about death. If I do it, it's like, oh, Maury. Oh, it's health class. I have to make sure everything go back around to how it kills you. That was me in high school.
I will say, and I know I talked about this at one point. We didn't do so many episodes of this fucking show. I know I talked about this on one episode of this shit. But I was inspired by you talking about you like wrote some shit and killed off everybody in the story or something for school. So I remember that we talked about this book, The Pig Man. And I know I talked about this on one episode or whatever. But we read the story called The Pig Man about the dude, Mr. Pignotti. And at the end, and some people didn't like the way it ended. So they were like, if you want to, you can rewrite, to get some credit in language arts, you can rewrite the ending. Because we all like the story. I think this was 7th grade or some shit. We all liked the story. We didn't, some people didn't like how it ended. And then I said to the teacher, even if you did like how it ended, can you rewrite the story? And she's like, yeah, of course. So I rewrote the fucking story, even though I didn't have a problem with it and had fucking everybody die and shit. And I got that. I was inspired to do that from your ass. And in a weird way, it was fun. I'm not gonna lie. In a weird way.
I remember writing an extra act to Romeo and Juliet where the families eventually killed each other off because of what happened at the end of Romeo and Juliet.
No. I was like, wait, how did you put more
each other? They blamed each other for the deaths of the kids. The two families did. And so they went to war.
That actually makes sense.
And it eventually ended with two people, two of the main characters, or two of the major characters that lived in the previous version. They ended up being the last. Capulet and Montague left. They stab each other simultaneously. Died.
I remember you talking about the simultaneous stab. What the fuck?
Narrator comes onto the screen.
I remember this.
And then explains, this is the consequence of falling in love or some shit.
I don't remember anything.
Raisin in the Sun is another one.
For some reason, I remember you talking about the simultaneous stab to death.
Yeah.
But I remember nothing else. Holy shit. My bad, I had a blast in the past.
Raisin in the Sun's another one.
Why would you kill off the youngers? You fucking
bitch. Because, in my opinion, I don't know how I'm gonna say in my opinion. I was the guy that when I had to rewrite the end of something, people had to die on camera. Or people had to die. And I think I had the one white dude in the play betray them. And then make some kind of I'm the evil white guy thing because it's a play about racism and shit anyway and the struggles of being black in America. And so I was like, yeah, he did this, and then one of the friends of the family comes, murks him, happy ending. Well, not happy ending. Everybody's dead.
But when you say the white dude
guys-
betrayed him, you mean he like went in on like the grounds?
I'm sorry. I'm gonna. Well, I lost all my black credit with the Do the Right Thing review on my channel anyway, but I don't remember. I don't remember. I can tell you why. Because I was like, I didn't have that big a problem with the main white dude, except for like the ending. I kind of liked Sal until the ending.
I don't think he lost credit. It's not bad. To an extent, it's not.
Well, it's since come out, and Spike Lee's like, nah, that motherfucker, that character was meant to be racist the whole time. And I was like, I made a whole big argument of like, you can't judge somebody based off of one moment when they're provoked. And there was a whole like argument about it. So yeah, I'm
you talking about when he destroyed the boombox?
Yeah, boombox and what he said right before he did it, which people focus more on than him destroying the boombox, but the same thing in the same moment. Yeah, obviously the police are terrible, and nobody defended the police in that statement. But my thing was, and I think it's the same thing in real life. If the problem's the police, don't burn down the local stores. If you're gonna burn down something because you're mad at the police, burn down the fucking police station. Not saying you should burn down anything, but if you're going to burn it down, burn down the people you actually want to attack. I didn't say it in those many words because I went on a whole other tangent because I have a problem with trying to see things from two different sides of the coin when they don't need to be. Sometimes the matter is black and white. You just got to pick the right side.
I feel you on that statement. That sometimes you don't want to see it as black and white, but that's just what the fuck it is. I feel you on that.
Yeah. And yeah, I have a problem where I'm always like, I can agree this is wrong, but I can still see how somebody got there. And I feel like if you can at least see how people got, I think the first step to trying to keep people from going there is figuring out how they get there in the first place. But again, I'm weird. Bottom line is, I forgot where I was going with this. Go watch the Do the Right Thing review on my channel. This guy hasn't seen.
Although we were talking about Raising the Sun, and
I don't remember the plot of Raising the Sun all too much.
Motherfucker, how would you kill off the youngers? They were just trying. I'm fucking with you.
Well, there was a younger that got revenge on the white dude.
I know. But
that's why I said happy ending. I just don't remember the play. It was in high school, and the one time I've revisited Raising the Sun since was when I played Walter for a scene.
Oh, word. Okay.
In 2010.
Because I was gonna say, like, did he go in there? Because the whole thing was, I think his name was Mr. Linder, and the whole thing was
he evil the whole time? Because if he was evil the whole time, then it wasn't betrayal. I thought he ended up being quote, and I don't want to say it like this. I was gonna say I thought he ended up being one of the good ones, but that's terrible. That's a terrible way to put it.
It's like the phrasing, but I know what you mean.
Given the time the play took place, racial relations were not strong. And usually when plays and pieces of fiction or nonfiction, as it were, take place during that time, racial relations are not that strong.
So the whole thing with Mr. Linder was the youngers were supposed to move out. The plot of Raising the Sun is the youngers, like, what is it? A whole family. It's a man, his wife, his sister, and his mom. And he's a grown man, so the mom is grandma. But mom are all living in like a fucking 1-bedroom apartment where they're like a boarding house, so they're sharing a bathroom and shit. So they're living like not the best means, especially for a big family. And the patriarch of the grandfather, whatever, dies, so they get the inheritance of like 10 grand, which 10 grand now is a lot, but even back in the 50s. 40s, whatever the fuck, is even more. So he gets the money, and then Walter's like, yo, I know what I can do. I can take that money. I'm going to take all this 10 grand, because as a man, I got to provide. Take all this 10 grand. I ain't going to tell nobody, but I know somebody, and we're going to flip this money, and we're going to get more money. Let's go. And he gives it to dude, Willie, whatever, who you never see. I played Bobo in it, who was only on for like a scene or whatever, and Bobo gives the bad news that Willie fucking took the money and then never came back. Because the famous line is, Walter, when the cat run off with your money, he don't leave no road maps. So he runs off with the money. So he basically takes the money they could have used to move out, gives it away without telling nobody. Then some fucking shady motherfucker like runs off, and now they ain't got no motherfucking money. But the whole thing is at the end. But what I'm saying, the whole thing is at the end that they all like say, okay, cool. Well, you know what? We can still work hard as a family and pull out of this. And they're like, I'll take a job and I'll find a way. The thing with the white guy is that the guy who played it in our show, because it also depends how you play it. The guy who played it when we did it, he is not necessarily inherently a bad guy, but he is inherently, like, he's been kind of instilled racism within him, because he always says like, you people, and thanks to you people and this and that and whatever, and he's well-meaning, but he's like, also you got to watch out for you guys or whatever, and I wanted to make sure everything was cool. He's the representative from the neighborhood that they're planning to move into, which is all white, and they're moving into an all white location. And that's the whole thing. Is just like, so it's like,
does he do anything plot significance aside from be white?
No, I'm saying he's the representative from the neighborhood that they want to move into. He's like, okay, well, nice to meet you guys. I wanted to come meet with the family. Give me the down payment. I can move you in, this, that. And then he's like coming back to be like, make sure everything's cool. Make sure we got the money. Make sure we got this. But it's like, yo, still need to make sure you guys are cool to move in.
I'm going to say, does he let him move in anyway and say, pay me later or some shit? I'm trying to remember.
I forget exactly how they get a chance to move in.
Okay, whatever. Bottom line is, I'm pretty sure he kills them, fully going evil, and then Willie kills him. And it wasn't necessarily happy ending. It's probably just an ending that sometimes endings are sad, because I know I had a thing in the past of like, why does everything have to have a happy ending?
I do agree with that too, Assange. That's why I like the ending of August Osage County, because it doesn't end on a happy note.
and the whole thing of, I didn't have the catchphrase or the colorful language to sum it up, but the whole idea that the real world sucks and it isn't happiness, more likely the tragedy will happen. I was like, I'm gonna get that through in this. Do I have anything against the youngers? No. In fact, I was less empathetic with characters back then. So as far as I was, they were fictional characters, and I had to write a scene anyway. So I'll get a response out of people. And as the deaf guy, I have to kill somebody in the scene. So why not go for this? Because teachers would let us read our things in front of class. So by then, I had a reputation as the guy. Oh, you typical, oh, here go this motherfucker again. But you got to remember, I will say this till the end of time, especially in high school, I always identified myself as an outcast that no one really noticed. At the same time, I had a weird thing of being very obsessed with my reputation, despite also feeling like / knowing I didn't have a reputation. It's like I wasn't important enough to have a reputation, but I kept acting like I did. And I always tried to stick to what people expected based on the reputation back then. And so, when I set up the established thing that, hey, Omari's this crazy dude, he's definitely going to turn damn near every social studies class into a Bush 9/11 conspiracy. And tried, like freshman year, the year it happened, because I was on the train before it was cool. Okay, I was blaming this day 2. I was blaming him day 2, if not day 1. I was blaming Bush, because I was like, everybody hated. I'm not a 9/11 conspiracist now. I get it. It happened. Much respect to the people who died. At the time, I assumed that it was a publicity stunt by Bush to get people to like him, because everyone's opinion on him's twisted on a dime damn near overnight, because it's like, we're gonna get those bastards for 9/11, and I'm just like, he couldn't have. And then other shit started happening that just seemed way too coincidental for me, and I was like, yeah, this is all the government trying to do this, that, and the other. But I know one of my yearbooks was signed with a thing like P.S. Bush didn't do 9/11. Like someone who signed my yearbook, they put that as a P.S. No, they were like, dude, calm the fuck down.
Oh shit!
I said,
that shit hard. God damn.
I'm an attention whore. I found out this is a good way to get the class to pay attention to me, so I would try to get and argue with as many people as possible. So that I could get this going. This is freshman year. I mean, a lot of stuff I did started off as either a habit that just became a thing and that probably would have passed if people didn't draw attention to it. And then it just became, well, this is my thing now. Cough, cough, wearing a jacket year round.
Which you did, which was odd.
But the first time it really started happening was, I want to say, freshman year of high school. I wore my coat for like a week longer than everybody else was, just out of habit of putting it on every day. And, I kind of liked having the pockets. I'm going to taking it off eventually. It gets hot. But then people started making too much of a big fucking deal about the fact that I'm wearing a coat. And I'm like, well, fuck you. I'm going to wear it to spite you.
You be wearing your shit. And I mean, you do what you want. But you will be wearing your shit like you say year round. It be fucking sweltering St. Louis hot humidity fucking days. And you be having shit all like, hey.
And then it became a matter of, well, this is habit and this is just my life now. And so nowadays I don't wear a jacket in the Florida heat to spite people. I wear it because that's just what I do.
You're much older, so you grown past.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Reasons, right?
You're right. I don't do shit for public perception anymore at all in my adult life. I've grown past caring about what others think about me. That's me.
Clearly, you are making some fucking sarcastic statement.
You really think I don't give a damn about my public image anymore?
I'm not saying you don't give a damn about your public image. I'm saying you've matured on some aspects of what you cared about when you were younger.
That is a very fair statement.
That's all I'm saying. Bro, I care about my motherfucking public image. I'm over here fucking low, rapper and fucking slash actor. Clearly I'm in the limelight. I mean, I am low level to some extent, but I'm in the limelight in some fucking capacity of this shit. But I mean, anybody who gets on stage, whatever you do, if you consistently get on stage in whatever field, you care about your perception. So no. And then I'm just a person. I hate when people like, I don't care what people think about me. Are you human? To some extent you do. Bam.
To be fair, that's always been my. I think, speaking of shit we might have mentioned on earlier things, my philosophy is that one of the most important things to humans on Earth is their perception of self-worth or self-image, and how they see themselves and how they want other people to see them. Whether or not you want people to like you, you want people to hate you, or you want people to think you don't care what they think. Because a lot of the people who say that, they usually say it right after that, as if they're trying to flex their superiority over you for not being such a shallow piece of shit. And I'm like, well, fuck you, motherfucker, die. I don't say die, but it's like, damn. It's like, damn. Like, let me... I want people to like me. You want people to like you because you don't want people to like you. What? You think that makes you cooler or some shit? Fuck you. You ain't better than me. You ain't worse than me either. We're both human beings. Both here suffering through society. Why do we gotta be fucking flexing superiority on one another?
Well, yo, shout out to flexing in any type of way. If you want to go ahead and flex your finger and tap that mouse, then go ahead and find and check out us on our respective socials. So if you want to holler at your boy, like I said, I am a rapper. I get my music on from time to time. So anywhere you stream your music, you can go ahead and find and follow me under the name Super Jazz.
Super Jazz.
As nature intended. That's spelled SUPERJAZ. Like I said, any music streaming platform, type it in and go ahead and find the debut solo album I dropped about 2 years ago called My Secret Identity. You may have to put in Super Jazz, My Secret Identity, since I'm not so famous yet. Also, you can go ahead and find and follow me on Twitter, X, under the name Super Jazz 2. So that's Super Jazz number 2. And you can go ahead and find me on Instagram under the name Forever Super Jazz, the word forever spelled correctly. And I started a production company. We wrapped the first show, plays, but we may do other things. But right now, theatrical productions. Wrapped the first show at the end of June. And if you want to go ahead and stay up to date on all things, go ahead and find on Facebook and like the page for Aquarian Rising Productions. That's Aquarian, not Aquarius. And without going super into it, I got some logs in the fire. All that being said, where can they find you, man?
They know they can find me here every week, every Wednesday on the Whatever We Want podcast. You can also find me elsewhere on YouTube on the channel Feo Grande. That is Feo Grande. As I mentioned earlier, I have a show I do on that channel as well every week, every Tuesday, with a good friend of mine named Bill Smith, good friend of the show as well. So This Guy Hasn't Seen, where we review movies. I believe this week, let's see, Red Line was last week. I don't remember. Oh no, Red Line is this week. I don't remember what next week is, but Red Line is this week. You can check that out. It's an anime movie, racing, kind of a, not F-Zero, but kind of like an F-Zero thing. It's fun to watch. It's from like 2011. Good soundtrack too. Yeah, Bill actually. No, it was me.
I'm about to say, fuck?
Come on now.
Go ahead.
He probably has watched more anime movies than I have. My anime is more like series shit.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I have a Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That is Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. I recently hit platinum in Street Fighter 6. So that's cool, rank-wise. So that's cool. It's like the equivalent of hitting gold in Street Fighter 5, so it's not a true accomplishment. But it's the first time I've been break platinum at anything, so I figured I'd mention it. Yeah. Also, go Panthers. Apparently they go against the Atlanta Falcons this weekend. A point I wanted to make earlier when you were talking about Ludacris, and then we got sidetracked.
I thought that was a reference to The Simpsons. That one episode, I like the Atlanta Falcons. Anyway, what's Twitter?
What's Twitter? It's a website where people post little short statements with character limits, unless you want to pay money and have everybody ridicule you for paying money every time you say something and have none of your opinions ever taken seriously again.
Well, anyway, whether it be about the music that shaped us when we were younger, whether it be about the generations and whether they should or shouldn't come together, whether it be about sports and Deion Sanders and the triumphantness of the first week or lack of triumphantness, depending on what side you own with that shit. And, a few other many things. What are we going to talk about next time?
Whatever we want.
Be nice to your fucking self, everybody.
Be nice
to your Look. Be nice to you. Look, you mother. You fucking. Be nice to your fucking self. God damn it. That pissed me off. Be nice to you. Be nice to your fucking self.
Sayonara.
Shit.